Now is it different? I still can't see the chat. Is it different now? But the same picture still up? Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Not that I'm going to get any chat activity, but I sure would like to be able to see chat. It's gonna be on this screen for a minute, so don't worry about it. I shouldn't have to look these kinds of things up. Am I going crazy, or did I used to be able to see chat? Are you okay?
Yeah.
I love you. So many of these things do not need to be YouTube tutorials. Well. Do 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 do. You can't hear it? Wasn't it delayed? Let me try again. Do 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 do. Don't know why that's the first one that came to mind. Echoey? I don't know how to fix that. Is it loud? Is it quiet? Is it... Okay. Is my voice echoey? Because it might have sounded like that because it was quiet. I don't know enough about how audio works to be able to make a justifiable reasoning for that, but... Sounds like there's two of me? Huh. Okay, let me have a listen. Oh, these are tiny. I see. It is kind of quiet, in my opinion. Well. Alright, is it any better? I'm going to turn it up a tiny amount.
It's still echoing. It's just a little loud.
It's loud or louder?
Louder.
But is it a good volume?
Yeah.
I have no idea what will be causing the echo. If I'm perfectly honest. It's a mystery to me. Okay, well, maybe, my hair all messed up in like 5 minutes. Okay, I changed the source. Can you tell me if it's any better? Like once my face shows up, is the audio any better? I don't know why that would be the case, but
It's still echoing.
well, let me try. I'm going to unplug my mic. And can you tell me if that fixed anything? Has it been like that before at all?
That's less echoing.
Less echoey?
Yeah.
You see that like it's still a little bit echoey?
It's like really
Okay. Is it good volume and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Took us about 10 minutes to get through all that, but whatever. So, first real stream. Never going to be doing that, it's Satera crap again. That was kind of boring for both me and, I'm sure for anybody watching. No, actually, today we're going to be looking at the news. There's always a lot of news going on, so I figured this might be kind of a segment that we do. So, of course, one of the first things I want to talk about was Hurricane Ida. And I was going to look at this article, but actually, earlier when I found this article, I haven't read it yet, but it was up here, but now it's been replaced by white supremacist praise of Taliban concerns U.S. officials, which is something I'll definitely be checking out later, but for now, let's look at Louisiana Barrier Island bore the brunt of Hurricane Ida. Here's what it looks like now. Already from that picture, it looks devastating. I was going to watch some YouTube videos. One of them, I was going to watch a PragerU video and review it, but my headphones stopped working, and I don't want to watch one without headphones because microphone and everything. So as soon as my headphones are in, I'll be doing that. But for now, we're just gonna have to read stuff. So yeah, I'd love to be able to watch this video that CNN provides us, but oh shoot. Might be helpful if I show the browser screen, wouldn't it? So this is the picture I was talking about. Let me just quickly go back and see. It's down here at like halfway down the page, but it was up here. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. So yeah, it's been replaced by this white supremacist praise of Taliban, which is very scary. So let's see what's going on in Louisiana. Grand Isle, Louisiana's last remaining inhabited barrier island at the southern tip of the state, bore the brunt of Hurricane Ida and was devastated by the Category 4 storm's high winds, rain, and storm surge. Okay, my first question is, what is a barrier island? Got a couple other news sources we're going to look at today. Yeah, he's just going to give us that. USGS. I trust them enough. Are they just like the... yeah, that's what I thought. The long skinny islands in South Louisiana. Okay, so Grand Isle. I've never seen it look like this. Brian Adams, director of Jefferson Parish Fire Services, said Tuesday after inspecting Grand Isle. It's decimated. Yeah, I can definitely see that by this picture. Damn. Around 40 to 50% of houses are gone, and 100% of the camps are damaged. They've been knocked off the pillars, they've just been destroyed, he said. Okay, so yeah, these are the kinds of houses that are up on stilts. Destruction is often the way. People are very sad. A lot of people have lost their homes, talking about how they don't know whether they'll be able to go back or not, because they don't have the money to go back, can't afford to go back, Adams said. It'll take about 4 or 5 years to get Grand Isle back to where it was. 4 or 5 years, if it ever does. Even before Ida, the narrow island has been increasingly under threat due to rising sea levels and sinking land. Located in the Gulf of Mexico, it had an estimated 2020 population of just over 1,400 people, according to the U.S. Census. Yeah, Louisiana and Florida are going to be some of the first places that you start to see an impact due to rising sea levels. They're very low. So very low. And it's honestly kind of surprising that these barrier islands are still there. So it's just I can't really tell if this is water. It kind of looks all like blacktop, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be water. Makes me think of Venice. where all the streets are canals. I've been there, it's a very beautiful place. Grand Isle is largely known for its beaches and popular habitat known as Cheniere Plain that makes it a hotspot for fishing, migratory birds, and other wildlife. Last year, the New York Times named it to its 52 places to go in 2020, saying that it was hauntingly beautiful and may soon vanish. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. There you see the houses that have stilts. They're on stilts. Ida could hasten that vanishing. With winds of 150 miles an hour, the Category 4 storm made landfall Sunday near Port Fourchon, about 10 miles southwest of Grand Isle. The storm's hurricane force winds extended 50 miles from the center. On Tuesday, a CNN crew visited the island to find utter devastation. Homes destroyed and vehicles still under floodwaters. Although there were no reports of deaths or injuries due to a mandatory evacuation. Well, thank goodness for that. I mean, you see this destruction. I didn't even think about that, but I mean, I'm very surprised that everyone got out safe. At least from there. I don't even know what the death toll is for the entire hurricane yet. I'll have to check that after this. Ricky Polke, 58, said he and his family built their home on elevated stilts 39 years ago. He returned Monday to find the roof and much of the home destroyed by wind and rain, and the inside could only be accessed by a temporary ladder. In Katrina, we lost our front porches and our steps, but the house was intact, the roof was intact, everything was intact, he said. He came back post-Ida to try and find some wedding memorabilia. He said he doesn't plan to rebuild and instead plans to move to Kentucky where they have family. Yeah, those barely even look like houses anymore. Yeah, there you can see the roads are just completely full of water. Many other residents of Grand Isle have not yet returned. Jefferson Parish advised residents late Tuesday night not to attempt to enter the Isle by boat or by land. The parish also posted photos of some of the destruction, showing a line of toppled utility poles, standing water, ravaged homes, and caved-in roofs. Yeah, so I honestly underestimated. I just thought this was going to be. I'm sure a lot of other people did, who aren't in Louisiana, or down there where it affected it. I just thought it was going to be another hurricane. I mean, we've had like 3 or 4 already. What was it, George? And Fred, George, Henri. And now there's another one, Kate, I think. But that one, Kate's in the middle of the Atlantic, the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Yeah.
Still, I mean, it's hurricane season, folks. Let's go to Wikipedia. I would expect any casualties to be put over here. But I don't see any. So that's a good thing. More detailed information. Give me the detailed. I'm not going to go to another link. Well, I'm not seeing anything. I am surprised, but also relieved. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Here we go. 4 indirect deaths including a Louisiana man mauled to death by an alligator after walking through Ida's floodwaters. 2 electrical workers died while repairing power grid damage caused by the storm. And in New Orleans, a man was killed by carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, wow. Oh, okay, and then right before, 4 direct deaths, okay. Wow. I'm not surprised, I suppose. Wow, that that's... Well, and then this house over here, it looks like it's almost perfectly fine. I mean, these are probably completely unrecognizable from what they were before. That's crazy. It really is crazy. And I don't have much else to say about the hurricane other than that. I mean, what else can you say, right? Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more articles off of CNN, and then we'll move to NBC. Very intrigued by this one. White supremacist praise of Taliban takeover concerns U.S. officials. Far right never ceases to amaze me. As the United States-backed government in Afghanistan failed at the Taliban and U.S. troops raced to leave the country, white supremacists and anti-government extremists have expressed admiration for what the Taliban accomplished, a worrying development for U.S. officials who have been grappling with the threat of domestic violent extremism. The praise has also been coupled with a wave of anti-refugee sentiment from far-right groups, as the U.S. and others rush to evacuate tens of thousands of people from Afghanistan by the Biden administration's August 31st deadline. Several concerning trends have emerged in recent weeks on online platforms. I'm assuming they mean Parler, and if Parler is even still around, I can't even remember. Did they get shut down? I can't remember. Commonly used by anti-government. If they're talking about the kind of people I think they're talking about, anti-government's a hell of a way to put it. White supremacists and other domestic violent extremist groups, including framing the activities of Taliban as a success and a model for those who believe in the need for a civil war in the U.S. This entire paragraph's one sentence, Jesus Christ. The head of the Department of Homeland Security's Office of Intelligence and Analysis, John Cohen, said on a call Friday with local and state law enforcement obtained by CNN. Far-right extremist groups have been invigorated by the events in Afghanistan, whether by their desire to emulate the Taliban or increasingly violent rhetoric about invasions by displaced Afghans. According to recent analysis from SITE Intelligence Group, an American non-governmental organization that tracks online activity of white supremacist and jihadist organizations. Imagine that being your job. I hate that job. Some people are commending the Taliban's takeover as a lesson in love. A lesson in love for the homeland, for freedom, and for religion. I mean, a lot of people joked not too long ago about how Republicans and Taliban largely have the same goals, but I never actually thought they'd come out in droves to support them. I mean, honestly, I'm really having a hard time imagining, because I haven't seen it first person, but it's just something so difficult for me to imagine, considering how xenophobic a lot of them are. Neo-Nazi and violent accelerationists who hope to provoke what they see as an inevitable race war, which would lead to a whites-only state in North America and Europe, are praising the Taliban for its anti-Semitism, homophobia, and severe restrictions on women's freedom. See, that's exactly. A lot of people joked right before all this went down that it might have actually been. I don't know if it was a member of Congress or just like a well-known journalist, but they put something on Twitter that might be what I'm thinking of about how, you know, right-wingers and Taliban hate, well, I was going to be specific, but they hate women, hate gay people, hate, you know, people of different races. So I guess I really shouldn't be surprised, but I kind of am. For example, a quote taken from the Proud Boy to Fascist Pipeline Telegram channel said, "These farmers and minimally trained men fought to take back their nation back from Globo Homo. They took back their government, installed their national religion as law, and executed dissenters. If white men in the West had the same courage as the Taliban, we would not be ruled by Jews currently." How wonderful. Aren't people amazing? Globo Homo is a derogatory word used to insult globalists, the term used by conspiracy promoters to describe their enemy. I've never heard that one before. Globo Homo, I've never heard that one. For months, U.S. officials have warned that domestic violent extremism is the greatest threat to the homeland, pointing to the January 6th attack at the U.S. Capitol as a stark illustration of the potential for violence that can occur when conspiracy theories and false narratives flourish. There's been a lot of Islamophobia and xenophobia echoed by white supremacists and anti-Muslim activists, claiming that public safety and national security is threatened because they see refugees through a stereotypical lens as being dangerous criminals or terrorists, according to Mendelsohn. And then does this just get into like white supremacist conspiracy theories? Do I go down that rabbit hole? White supremacist conspiracy theories?
If you want.
If I want. I don't know if I want. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about this. I mean, I'd say we've seen crazier stuff, but have we? Because the kind of people I'm thinking of as like white supremacists are the kind of people that would, like, 6 years ago post memes on Facebook about like Osama bin Laden and how every Muslim is like Osama bin Laden and the terrorists and just all this kind of xenophobic crap. Maybe they just don't have the mental capacity to understand that the people that they're praising as a model for what people in the West should be doing are these exact same people that not too many years ago they would have wanted to put in camps or whatever white supremacists plan to do with non-whites. I don't know. It'll never happen, so I'm not that worried about it. But okay, let's see. I am going to I'll look at this later. Definitely, I'm going to talk about that Texas abortion law, but all right, this second. That'll be towards the end. Might be done with CNN. Let's check the politics tab. Maybe that's what I should have been looking at all this time. Yeah, okay. Let's see what NBC's got for us. Didn't really look. Joe Rogan has COVID, and he took ivermectin. I've never actually watched anything by Joe Rogan, so I don't really know what to think of him. But oh yeah, Elijah McClain's killers are. Let me make sure I word this right. Will face charges. Yeah, so, what was it? This was like 2 years ago. I saw they were talking about this on NBC Nightly News earlier tonight. They referred to it as a violent police encounter, which is a really, really funny way to say an execution. Which is exactly what it was. Again, I'd love to watch this video, but I can't. 2 police officers, 1 former officer and 2 paramedics in Aurora, Colorado, will face charges in the death of Elijah McClain, a young black man who was detained, placed in a chokehold, and given a powerful sedative in a confrontation with police in 2019. The indictment comes after an 8-month grand jury investigation convened by Colorado's top prosecutor. State Attorney General Phil Weiser on Wednesday said the 5 defendants will be charged with 1 count each of manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide, as well as other charges in the 32-count indictment. The officers named in the indictment are Nathan Woodyard and Randy Rodema. And just a bunch of names. McClain's father said he cried tears of joy upon learning of the indictment. The indictments come after just 2 years since the death of Elijah McClain, 23, prompted months of protests by activists that dovetailed into national demonstrations demanding systematic changes in policing, galvanized by last year's police killing of George Floyd. Like Floyd, McClain had told police, "I can't breathe," a phrase that has become a familiar rallying cry against police brutality. This is something I said on NBC Nightly News tonight. Criminal charges against police officers accused in a person's death while on duty are rare, and even more so for paramedics and firefighters. Yeah, they're actually charging paramedics, which is unheard of. But they inject them with well, let's read this. McClain's encounter with police in Aurora, a Denver suburb, began just after 10:30 p.m. on August 24, 2019. Damn, that was just over 2 years ago. After he bought iced tea from a corner store. At the time, McClain, a massage therapist, was wearing a ski mask, which he typically did because of a blood condition that made him feel cold, according to his family. 3 Aurora police officers responded to a report of a suspicious person wearing a mask and waving his arms. Body cam video later released showed officers ordering McClain to stop. He responded that he was an introvert and to please respect the boundaries that I am speaking. After questioning him, the officers grabbed McLean. One of them said he believed McLean had reached for a holstered gun, and McLean was brought to the ground. Aurora police said in a statement that he resisted contact, a struggle ensued, and he was taken into custody. Authorities said officers applied a carotid control hold on McLean, a type of chokehold meant to restrict blood to the brain to render a person unconscious. Paramedics were called to the scene, and McLean was injected with ketamine to sedate him. After police video showed him writhing on the ground, saying, "I can't breathe, please," and vomiting. He apologized for vomiting. About 7 minutes after he received the drug, McLean was found to have no pulse in the ambulance and went into cardiac arrest, according to a report released in fall 2019 by a local prosecutor. Medics were able to revive McLean, but he was later declared brain dead and taken off life support less than a week later. The Adams County Coroner's Office determined that McLean's death was due to undetermined causes, and that the evidence does not support the prosecution of a homicide. That's bullshit. According to Young's report, Young declined to press charges against the officers. The coroner did not rule out that the chokehold, in addition to the ketamine, may have contributed to his death. I mean, you can say all you want about if, in regards to George Floyd, if he actually was doing criminal activities or not, and whether or not he did is completely irrelevant. He shouldn't have been executed in the street like he was, but McLean was totally innocent. I mean, the guy, see, right, if you saw that, he played violin so that stray cats could fall asleep. He was just, sounds like a really sweet guy. And so I hope that that this will be followed with the same amount of interest, just like the trial of now I can't remember his name. the police officer that murdered George Floyd. I hope that this will be followed with the same amount of interest. Because it's just completely unexcusable. Okay. I think that's what I'm going to look at. Well, now, talking about the abortion law. We'll look at that in a second. Is there a cat trying to get in? Well, we know that they're very pathetic. Anyone there? Hey, buddy. Rocky. We hear you. Did we not feed them at dinner? We'll take care of that in a while. Where are you taking them? Let me hold on. Hey, buddy boy. Parrot cat. Rocky? Oh no, does he see the screen? Was he looking at the screen? Who's a good boy? Thank you. If you give me a minute, I'll go and feed them. You don't have to if you don't want to. Right. I'll be back very quickly to feed that little whiny brat. We got 2 viewers? Okay. Rocky? Oh, he's soft. No chats though. Rocky. Oh, my butt. This is intermission. Hear me talking to Bull? Bull was peeping at me for whatever reason. Anyway, I totally won that bet about the power. And so I, as a gracious winner, elected to share my spoil. Rocky, swear to God. I like to just share my spoils with you. You ever touch on trash? My hair still good?
You're already covered himself up.
What a lazy cat.
Did you see the chat I sent?
No, I can't see chat for some reason. I can use this intermission to figure out why I can't, but softy.
Well, we're just gonna spin again. He just ran really weird. He was crazy.
I don't think I think that I did something weird when setting up the stream, and so I'm not going to be able to see the chat on the stream. But I guess I can try. I can just try pulling up YouTube next to. You know, if that doesn't crash my computer. Has it been like not lagging?
I don't think so.
Okay. Guest appearance from Rocky the Cat. I guess I'll just use not that I'm gonna get any chats, but But the chair or the rock?
Rocky.
He's done that again. Now hang on. This is Rocky, and he is the devil, or at least
His brother.
the brother of the devil. His brother is much worse. I wouldn't be able to hold him like this. Now he's like the... He's more like... What is the devil's dog? Cerberus? Cerberus? He's more like Cerberus. I have... We got 3 cats. That one's Rocky, and we got his brother, his twin brother, both 2 black cats, named Bull, who is the actual devil. And we got their mother, who is Seneca. She's very lazy and not black. Oh god. I'm gonna take this desk chair apart one day.
It might be sitting on the blanket.
It might be sitting on the blanket. Rocky tail. Okay. So let's look at this Texas abortion ban. So first we're gonna look at CNN. I was considering looking at something off of Fox News for tonight. I just kind of felt dirty just going onto Fox News. Like, I don't know. I felt dirty doing it. I might do that another day. But for now, we're going to look at CNN, NBC, and CBS. So, what the Supreme Court's inaction means for the future of Roe v. Wade. These are all the Republican justices, I assume. Oh no.
You might have had your blanket. Yeah.
Is it still hanging out? Supreme Court early on Wednesday allowed Texas's 6-week abortion ban to go into effect, despite the fact that it violates Roe v. Wade, the landmark opinion still on the books that legalized abortion nationwide prior to viability, which can occur at around 24 weeks of pregnancy. The justices have yet to explain their thinking. In fact, they didn't even issue a ruling. Instead, they allowed a midnight deadline to pass without responding to an emergency request filed by abortion providers to block the law. The justices left that request on the table, and the law went into effect. I'm sure this will cover it, but I'm pretty sure that law makes it so that just like any average person can sue you. I don't know if it's sue you if you get an abortion or sue you if you perform an abortion. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the first one. I guess the only silver lining in this is that abortions before there's a heartbeat are still legal. But that's not saying much. Some supporters of abortion rights held out hope on Wednesday that they could still win at the Supreme Court and that the justices were taking their time to weed through the complexities of the case. That is still a possibility, as the court may not feel it has to heed a legislature's deadline, but as things stand, the act of inaction by the 6-3 conservative majority court sent extremely strong signals not only about the future of Roe v. Wade, but about abortion jurisprudence going forward. And it also allowed a ban on abortion before most women know that they're pregnant to go into force. Yeah. Oh, damn. Never seen this map before. While the justices were silent Wednesday, key conservatives such as Justice Clarence Thomas have not been shy in the past to express their opinion on the court's abortion docket. In 2019, Thomas, who has publicly said Roe was wrongly decided, declared that abortion jurisprudence has spiraled out of control, and last year Justice Neil Gorsuch did not mince his words about the court and abortion. We have lost our way. Where cats? Wait, where did Rocky? Oh, Rocky's down here. He's a little foot warmer. Hey, you can stay there, man. I just messing with you. Hey, don't bite me. You bit me. I think. I think it kind of felt like teeth. So we got, if Roe v. Wade were overturned, 22 states have laws to restrict abortion access. 14 states plus DC have laws that protect abortion access without Roe v. Wade.
He's afraid of her slippers. He just swatted at them.
Did he just peek? You want to come on camera, buddy? I'm gonna try. Oh, now she's here too? That was Bull. He's radioactive. I'm honestly not surprised by this map. You'd think that there'd be more that protected, but I guess I'm not surprised. Bull? He is on the window behind my computer. With Thomas, Gorsuch, Chief Justice John Roberts, and Justices Alito, Kavanaugh, and Coney Barrett likely poised to curb abortion rights in the near future, the court's three liberals, Kagan, Sotomayor, and Breyer, are left fighting in dissent. To be sure, by allowing the deadline to pass, the justices weren't ruling on the merits of the Texas law, and they didn't directly overrule Roe. Instead, they were looking at one case with tangled procedural issues concerning whether a particular set of defendants could be sued. Because it was an emergency application, there were truncated briefs and no opportunity for oral arguments or a reasoned opinion. Legal experts refer to that as the court's shadow docket, where the court, through its action or inaction, can take big steps without explanation. The court's inaction is not a determination that the 6-week ban is unconstitutional, said Steve Vladeck. Yeah, I was hoping to talk about this. Something's happening in Mississippi, too. Until this week, the attention of the court in abortion was on the challenge to Mississippi's 15-week ban, which represents a direct challenge to Roe. It will be decided after a full round of briefing, a flurry of friend of the court filings, and oral arguments, likely by next summer. And the Texas case could impact that decision as well. What separated the Texas lawsuit from others is that opponents of abortion in red states got creative in their decades-long attempt to overturn Supreme Court precedent. And in a novel, Seneca, you ain't escaping this one. This is Seneca. She's fat. No, she's not overweight or anything. She's just a little chubby. Barely. She's probably not even chubby. We just call her that. Oh, where were we? This law prevents government officials from directly enforcing the ban. I didn't know it prevented. I just thought that it made it possible for private citizens to do it. Instead, the law allows private citizens anywhere in the country, not even in Texas, anywhere in the country, to bring civil suits against anyone who assists a pregnant person seeking an abortion in violation of the ban. That would include someone who transported a patient to a clinic, potentially. Okay. That, again, I was watching nightly news on NBC, and they said something about a taxi driver could get in trouble for this, and I didn't understand that. But this makes sense now. I mean, none of this makes sense, but within the realm of what we're talking about. Let's see. The law prohibits abortion when a fetal heartbeat is detected, which is often before a woman knows she is pregnant. It took effect on September 1st. Court orders have previously blocked similar 6-week bans from taking effect in 8 other states. So that was North Dakota. You have full authority to kick him out whenever he starts to become a problem. North Dakota, Iowa, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, and Mississippi. And so those are all states that did tried to do 6-week bans. Once the justices allowed the Texas ban to go into effect, it was a ringing victory for its supporters, who pointed to the fact that clinics in the state said they wouldn't violate the law, thus halting most abortions in the Lone Star State. Which means, if the law remains in effect, other states opposed to abortion will try to pass similar laws to broaden their reach. So, by the time that the Supreme Court rules in the Mississippi case, the terrain could be different, with abortions effectively banned in some states. A conservative justice reluctant to overturn precedent may not have to take such a big step of wiping Roe off the books. The states will have effectively done so with the novel statute. I am probably going to ramble at length towards the end of this, but it shouldn't take a brilliant mind to be able to figure out that this is horrible. This is just an awful idea, awful law. This isn't going to ban abortions. This is going to ban safe abortions, because people that are motivated enough are going to find another way to have abortions. And, but they're not going to be safe. They're not going to be performed by, licensed doctors. This is medical treatment, and it's just like any other kind of medical treatment. Though, then again, the far right is not opposed to banning types of medical treatment that they don't see as necessary, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that was CNN. Now we have NBC talking about Biden's response, which I was not aware that he actually talked about it at all. Can we get when? Was this midnight last night? You know, if Seneca were to lay down a certain way, they'd form like a summoning circle.
She wasn't laying down.
I think this happened midnight last night, but I might be wrong. I can't. Early on Wednesday. Okay. Let's see what Biden had to say about this. President Joe Biden said that Texas's restrictive new abortion law that went into effect Wednesday violates the Constitution and pledged to protect and defend abortion rights. He said in a statement that the law, Texas SB 8, will significantly impair women's access to the health care that they need, particularly for communities of color and individuals with low incomes. And outrageously, it deputizes private citizens to bring lawsuits against anyone who they believe has helped another person get an abortion, which might even include family members, healthcare workers, front desk staff at a healthcare clinic, or strangers with no connection to the individual. Which, that's, I just still can't believe that that's how they decided to go about doing it. I don't know. I think the CNN article said it might be some kind of legal loophole. But honestly, I think that just creates more problems for the law. Because I don't know, I'm not an expert on the judicial system or anything like that, but I just don't understand how just any old person should have the standing to, because the abortion, unless it's like the birth father and or the father and the mother decides to get an abortion behind his back, that's the only time I can think of that someone getting an abortion could affect somebody else. But I don't know. I'm not the lunatic that wrote up this law. Who is the lunatic that wrote up this law? I'm just curious. Texas SB 8. I just want to get a name and a face. Okay, I might wait. Okay, well. Coward doesn't want to have his name public. That's fine. Where were we? He said that his administration is deeply committed to protecting the constitutional right established under Roe v. Wade. He did not specify, however, how his administration plans to do that, especially for women living in Texas. The law, which bans most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy, went into effect after the Supreme Court didn't respond to an 11th hour request by abortion rights advocates Monday to halt its implementation. This was mostly just pretty much just everything we read in the last one, except that Biden plans to fight it, which I don't really know how the president could really do that unless he just it's probably just empty words. And considering all of Joe Biden's campaign, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just empty words. Considering that he's gone back on almost all of his promises he made during the campaign, unfortunately. Okay. And I imagine this is just going to be the same stuff that CNN said. But let's read it. Controversial Texas law banning abortions went into effect midnight after the U.S. Supreme Court did not act on a request for pro-abortion rights. President Biden called the law extreme in a statement Wednesday and said it blatantly violates the constitutional right established under Roe v. Wade and upheld as precedent for nearly half a century. Okay, well, I'm curious now. Really? I don't have headphones. I won't look for it. Yeah. So I'm not gonna look through all of those, but this is a massive problem, because this is just going to, because nobody's going to stop getting abortions. They're just going to stop getting safe abortions, and they're going to obtain abortions through very dangerous means, and this will probably kill several people. And also, I sure hope that the state of Texas has some kind of plan for these children that they seem to want these would-be mothers to have so badly. Because what are they going to do when those children end up homeless or end up barely being able to provide for themselves and living on the street? And the state of Texas isn't going to care down to them. They're not going to care at all. These people only care about children until they're born. I see we have Cody Guy in chat. How are you doing, Cody Guy? Miller said the law creates a bounty system under which anyone in Texas can call into question anyone who supports access to abortion. A bounty system. I guess that's pretty much what it is. I don't know why, but my chat kind of, I hadn't been paying attention to it, and it disappeared. So I didn't see that. The pro-abortion rights organizations warned the Supreme Court on Monday that, if permitted to take effect, the ban would immediately and catastrophically reduce abortion access in Texas. The groups include Planned Parenthood, the Center for Reproductive Rights, the ACLU, and abortion providers. Thank you, Cody Guy. I'm doing pretty good too. What's your opinion on this this recent news out of Texas? Because I know you and I have, or at least last time we talked about it, we have very different opinions on this issue. Patients who can scrape together resources will be forced to attempt to leave the state to obtain an abortion, and many will be delayed until later in pregnancy. Yeah, a lot of people are gonna, I'm sure, are going to try and get abortions. Like they'll go to Oklahoma or New Mexico, or whatever other state, to get them. I don't really feel like this is going to drive many people to leave the state, though. I just don't. I mean, maybe like a 2-digit number of people, if that, will leave. But I maybe. I mean, time will. I don't know if we'll ever find that out, but. Well, we all only learned about it today, because it happened today. Oh, I didn't realize that the chat was all the way. That's a little bit better. Woo! I live in a zoo. That's what it feels like. Cody says, I'm pro-life, but I also agree that a lot of pro-life people don't sufficiently answer the question of supporting children after they're born. Okay. I've never actually heard someone that's pro-life acknowledge that, actually. So, Cody, if you want, if probably not tonight, but if ever you're available, love to have you on, and whether you want to discuss this or whether you want to debate about it, I'd love to have you on if you ever want to be on. All right. The pro-abortion rights groups warned that without Supreme Court intervention, Texas would be allowed to ban abortions after 6 weeks before the justices consider a legal battle over an abortion law for Mississippi this fall. The Supreme Court said in May that it would take up a blockbuster dispute over Mississippi's ban on abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy, presenting the first test of the limits of abortion access to go before the court's expanded conservative majority. Well, we can only hope that that something happens about this, or at least I can only hope. Because, like I said, like Cody said, if if you want to be the kind of person that completely ignores the fact that this is an attack on the rights of women, and if you just want to look at the lives of the children, it's this is only going to create more hungry, poor, potentially homeless children. I also kind of have doubts that they're going to do anything about this specifically, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with that Mississippi case, because that might kind of I mean they'd probably rule the same way in the Mississippi case as they would for the Texas case, but we know that they're going to do something about the Mississippi case, so that will that'll tell us what they're going to do. And anything could happen, because what did it say, this fall? Well, it already almost is fall. Get on my camera. Let's see. It was from May 17th. Okay. A decision expected by summer 2022. The Supreme Court is one of the slowest. I won't say anything. Well, I suppose I already pretty much expressed my views. Hopefully something will be done about this, but it's too soon to tell, I suppose. But hopefully something will be done. I didn't really have anything else to talk about tonight, so I suppose I will pull out a cat very briefly, and then I think I'm going to call it quits for the night. Which cat? Rocky. Thank you, Cody. You worded it a lot better than I did. What is the? I learned about this, something like this in civics class. That, like, the Supreme Court doesn't even take up or they might take up It was about the amount of cases they take up, and it's shockingly low for an institution that we call the Supreme Court. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see if the all-knowing Wikipedia can tell us. To manage the high volume of cert petitions received by the court each year, of the more than 7,000 petitions, which still honestly, that doesn't sound like a lot. Like, how many bills does Congress deal with per year? I'm sure it's way more than 7,000. It will usually request briefing and hear oral argument in 100 or fewer. Okay. I mean, let's look at I mean, half of these people look ancient. Well, not all of them look. A lot of them look old. So maybe that contributes a little bit to their lack of speed when it comes to these things. Cause I don't know where else I could put chat. I wonder if turning it black would help. Because if I make it too small, then it's too small. But bless you. I will investigate that, because it is kind of in an awkward position. Oh yeah, for sure. For an unelected position, the Supreme Court should not at all have lifetime seats, but that's a discussion for another day. The Supreme Court's got a lot of problems. That need to be addressed. Well, with that out of the way, I suppose that didn't really have much more to talk about, so I think I'm going to cut it here.